My paycheck for this pay period is $2,914.63. I also have my savings that automatically go into my savings account for $50. I have my pension fund that's $42.67 that I will receive on the first of the month. And then for rollover funds, I have $10. Let me add that up. That equals $3,017.30. Now, for bills, I have Navient, $371.79. I have my parking ticket I need to pay. Actually, I think it's more like a red light ticket. No, not a red light ticket. Speeding ticket. That's what it is. So I have my speeding ticket for $100. I have my storage fee, $155. I have Wells Fargo for $05.25. I have Verizon, $199.57. Credit One, $10.88. Then John Hopkins, I have a copay, and I also now have an afterpay for today, $20.17. I need to see if I have another one due before my next pay period. So let me check on that real quick. I have the afterpay payment for the 24th, and then I also have an afterpay payment on August the 6th for $20.17. Let me add up my bills. $1,312.83. And then I'm going to subtract my bill total from my income to get the amount that I have left over. So $3,017.30 minus $1,312.83 leaves me with $1,704.47. Now that I've completed that, I'm going to jump over to sinking funds, extra debt, and extra savings. My method is a little bit different from the budget mom. I allocate funding for sinking funds, extra debt, and extra savings before I deal with variable expenses. So I'm going to jump over to sinking funds. And for this pay period, I'm allocating $110 for Christmas 2020. I am also going to put $295 for car insurance. Actually, you know what? I'm going to allocate $300 for car insurance. For pet expenses, $40. Memberships, $25. And travel, $100. I do have a road trip coming up with my daughter to take her off to college, so I'm adding more funds to that envelope to help with that expense. I originally budgeted to start my daughter's sinking fund this pay period. Actually, last pay period, putting money aside for when she's at college. But I'm going to start that actually in August when she's actually away at school. So that I'll start building up money for that. So we are going to actually not allocate that for this pay period. I'm going to keep the sinking fund, but just not add anything this particular pay period. Also for car maintenance, I don't have anything coming up. I recently had a oil change, so I'm not going to allocate anything for that just yet. And then for my business, I'm also going to hold off until next month to start adding towards that. So for sinking funds, I have, that gives me $575 as my total for sinking funds. Now I'm going to jump down to extra debt. For extra debt, or I do want to add to my Navient payment to make it an even $400. So I'm going to add $28.21. And then also for Wells Fargo, my car note, I'm going to add another $50 for that, which is a total of $78.21 for extra debt. In August, I'm going to ramp things up a little bit more, so you'll see more extra debt being tackled. But for right now, I really want to get my savings back to a stable place, and then also my sinking funds, get those jump started towards the end of this month. And jumping down to extra savings, I'm going to allocate $25 to my checking cushion, $50 to my savings cushion, my emergency fund. I'm actually going to just put $100 in that right off, and that brings me to $175 for extra savings. My variable expenses, I'm going to subtract my sinking fund total, extra debt total, and extra savings from my leftover amount, and that should let me know what I'll have for variable expenses. So let's subtract 1704.4 5.47 minus 575 minus 78.21 minus 175 equals 876.26. Okay, so with my estimated budget, I came up with my categories. I have groceries, dining out, medical, pet, gas, charity, my daughter's dorm expenses, miscellaneous, and then shopping. And I automatically can say that I'm going to cross out shopping. I really want to focus on necessities to close out the month, and then in August, go back to doing some of the extra things once I know that my daughter's college expenses are taken care of. For variable expenses, I have groceries for $120, dining out $150. I know I got some questions when I did my estimated budget in terms of why we spend so much for dining out. So I just want to clarify a little bit. Our dining out budget is so high, not because we eat out a lot. Actually, we probably only eat out on weekends, like Fridays, Saturdays, and maybe Sundays. But we tend to eat from restaurant style places. So if you have smaller children, you know, you can get away with McDonald's, Burger King, fast food places that your kids love. The closest I get to that is Chick-fil-A with my daughter. She does like Chick-fil-A, but normally she wants sushi, or we, you know, go to our favorite Asian restaurant, or one of the places that we would normally go for our girls' day on Fridays. So my daughter and I started a tradition when she was early in her teens where every Friday she and I basically have a mommy-daughter date, and we go to the movies, we go to a restaurant, we just spend quality time together. And with COVID-19, obviously, it's really put a damper on that, and it's a tough time because she's also about to go off to college. So a way that we've been trying to make up for that is to still order in from some of the restaurants that we enjoy going out to eat on our Friday girls' days, or maybe we'll order something and watch a movie, or, you know, have a game night or something like that. So this budget for dining out actually gets eaten up quite fast. It'll last me the pay period, but we very rarely come in under. Normally, I'm counting in a win if we're, you know, even $10 or $20 over. It adds up quick. By the time you get appetizers or your main dish and, you know, a dessert, it adds up. That is where our $150 for dining out goes to. I actually like to cook at home quite a bit. I've stockpiled early on for a lot of groceries here at home just to be able to do that, and I keep that my pantry stocked up in that way. We do cook meals at least Monday through Thursday of the week, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are either leftover days or takeout days. Just to kind of give a little more clarity, I did get quite a few questions about that with my estimated budget video before this one. For medical, I'm going to keep that at $100, and for pet, I'm going to keep that at $300. I think I may come in under that, which would be great. I want to just be sure that I can cover what I can cover. He does have 2 important appointments this pay period. And then we have gas car wash. Our gas expenses have actually really gone down quite a bit. And on a week where I don't have a lot to do, like errands and things like that, I can get away with filling up my car maybe 1.5 times in a pay period, which leaves me about $10 to $15 for a car wash. So I'm not really doing extravagant things with the $40. Sometimes I might have $5 or $10 left over, which goes towards other things in our expenses. I'm actually pretty happy with being able to maintain our $40 budget for gas and car wash right now. For charity, I still want to leave that $20. My daughter's dorm expenses, I want to put $120 towards that. And then for miscellaneous, that leaves me with $26.26. Let me add that up to make sure it's right. $876.26. Perfect. So now we're going to zero out our budget to make sure everything is right. Starting with income, $3,017.30 minus bill total, $1,312.83 equals $1,704.47 minus variable expenses minus $876.26, which equals $8 128.21. Let me bring down the leftover amount to my variable expenses, 1,007, 4.47. And then when I subtract that amount out, I'm left with $828.21. I take that amount, carry it up to my leftover row in the actual column, 828.21, minus my sinking fund total, leaves me with 253.21. I'm going to bring that amount down to leftover, 253.21. And then I'm going to subtract my extra debt total, which leaves me with $175. I'm going to bring that leftover amount down to extra savings, the leftover row, and 175 minus the 175 for my savings leaves me with $0. So my total income, $3,017.30, minus my expenses, bills, variable expenses, sinking funds, extra debt, and extra savings, $3,017.30 equals 0. So I have zeroed out my budget. So let me pull out my cash denomination sheet. So I went ahead and prepared my cash envelope breakdown off camera just for the sake of time, because we do have quite a bit of cash envelope stuffing today, and I want to make sure we have plenty of time for it. For my cash envelopes this week, I'm stuffing my Christmas 2020, car insurance, pet expenses, memberships, travel. Then also I've incorporated a groceries and dining out and miscellaneous cash envelope. And in addition to that, I'm adding some extra money from my pet expenses, variable expenses. So I've allocated $300 in my variable expense account for this week's expenses, and part of that are my pet expenses. I've already spent $100 for one of my dog's doctor's appointment, so I'm pulling out the other $200 to put in my pet envelope. Whatever's left over after my dog's appointment next week, then I will just keep that in pet expenses and balance that out to show as a deposit to his sinking fund. Also, for my daughter's dorm, I'm pulling out $120 because we still have quite a few things to purchase in order for her preparations for school. So let's get to it. I don't have anything for wardrobe refresh, so I'm putting that to the side. Also, business, I'm not adding to this week, putting that one to the side. Be Happy Fund, not adding anything to that one. Christmas 2020. Car insurance, not adding anything to household. Car maintenance, not adding anything. Travel, we're adding to that. Special days, we're not adding to that this pay period. Memberships, and then my two variable expenses, dining out and groceries. So let's put those over here and let me pull out the cash. One single that you can't see on, you know what? Actually, I'll put it up here. Then you can see that one too. Let me just make sure I have the right amount of each denomination. 6 100s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 50s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see these really are from the bank because they're so crisp. 1, 2, 3 10s, 2 5s, and a single. Okay, so let's start stuffing these envelopes. So for groceries, I have 120, and I've set aside 2 50s and 2 10s for that. So let me grab 1, 2, 3, 4. So 50, 100, 10, 120. That is going into my grocery envelope for this week. I do not keep a tracker in here. I actually track this variable expense in my cashless tracker. So I will be notating that when I sit down to put that together for this pay period. The next one is dining out. So for dining out, I have $150, which are 3 50s. 1, 2, 3. 50, $150 for dining out. All right. And then we have memberships. Memberships is $25, and that is a 20 and a 5. And I have some pre-existing money for memberships, so I'm going to add it up and make sure I have the right total. So 724 deposit plus 25, 165. Let's make sure that's what we have. Okay, so we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 5, 50, 55, 60, 165. Perfect. Memberships is taken care of. Next we have travel. So for travel, I'm adding $100, and that will be 250s. 250s here. And I do have some money already in my travel envelope as well. I have $50. 724 deposit. It's been a while since I've added to this envelope. That gives me $150. So we have $150. Travel is all set for this week. Next we have car insurance, and for that I'm setting aside $300, which are 3 $100 bills. And I love it because these are super fresh and crispy. Okay, so if you've watched my prior video, you know that I ended up using a lot of the money that I had saved up, actually all of the money I had saved up previously for my car insurance sinking fund in order to pay off my settlement. So this is my first deposit since making that payment. I'm going to add that here. And this is actually a new envelope as well. So I'm going to put car insurance on the back. And then also 724 deposit plus 300, balance 300. Okay. So car insurance is taken care of for this pay period. Christmas is my next envelope, and I have $110 to deposit. So I have a $100 bill and a $10 bill. And I do have a little bit already set aside for Christmas. So let's see how much this will bring us to. 724 deposit plus 110 equals 300. Already back up to $300, which makes me feel really good knowing that I had to use up my Christmas fund as well in order to make my settlement payment, but it is building up yet again. So let's see. Let's count up what we have. So this gift card here is actually worth $100. And then we have $200, $250, $270. This gift card is worth another $20, so that's $290, $300. Perfect. All right. And then we have pet expenses. So for this pay period, I will be adding another $40 to that envelope, and that will be 220s. I will be adding, actually, now that I think about it, I'll be adding my 220s, which is my normal deposit, but then I'm also going to be adding $200 for my variable expense. So this envelope will actually go with me to my dog's appointment this week, and I will be using these funds towards his bill for that appointment. So 100, 200, 20, 40. I'm going to actually make these as 2 separate deposits, just simply because I want to notate that they're separate. 724 deposit plus 40, 160, and then 724 deposit plus 200, which would give me 360 for this. So let's pull out what we had previously and add the new money. 1, 2, 20, 40, 60, 80, 3, 20, 40, 360. All right. So hopefully this will be more than enough to cover my dog's appointment this coming week. His bills actually are pretty expensive. I would not be surprised if there's not a whole lot left of this, but at least it's a good amount to hopefully cover the entire bill without me having to pull from any other funds that I have. So that's taken care of. And then Ashley, my daughter's envelope, I'm going to put her dorm money in here. So this is also her sinking fund envelope, but just so I can make a distinction between that and the miscellaneous money, I'm going to pull the $120, which are 2 50s and a 20. So let's see. We actually 722. We actually had an expense for the 150 previously put in here, so that left us with 0. And then today 724 deposit. We're adding 120 to this one. Okay, so that is going into this envelope. And Ashley's taken care of. And then miscellaneous, last but not least, I have $26 going into that one. A 20, a 5, and a 1. And so I'm going to put that into this envelope. I also track miscellaneous in my cashless spending tracker notebook, so I'll be adding that deposit into that tracker journal when I work on that this evening. So those are all of my cash envelopes. I hope you enjoyed this cash envelope stuffing session. As you can see, I am definitely using quite a bit more cash envelope, and I expect this number to grow even more once I really get back on track with my savings and get a lot of things stabilized with my finances toward as I finish out this year. So I'm super excited about that. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you'll be informed the very next time we have something to share on the Happiness Heals channel. Ciao!